The other day I watched this video about the scale of our universe and how small we really are. I'll link it below, but part of it was this picture taken by the Voyager 1. This was from 3.7 billion miles away. The pale blue dot, as it's known. This was one of those eye-opening moments for me that kind of broke my brain. I can't even comprehend a distance of 3.7 billion miles. And then to think that a man-made thing made it out that far. Then to think that we know that for 3.7 billion miles at least, there's just this cosmic nothingness and we're just floating alone within it. So this sent me down the rabbit hole of figuring out existence. Quantum physics, the history of the universe, the Big Bang, religious views, and the whole nine. In any case, the conclusion I got to was the mere impossibility of us even existing. The impossibility of any of it. This one lone planet in a sea of nothingness. These cells that grow into a body with a consciousness. So many billions of processes have to go right for us to even come into existence and then maintain that existence. There has to be the perfect path of Earth and space avoiding asteroids and solar flares that could engulf us all. The perfect composition of our atmosphere that permits our mechanism of physiological existence. All of that doesn't even account for the emotions and abilities of human beings to end civilization at a moment's notice through nuclear weapons. Every single day you and I wake up, all of that and a billion other things have to go right for our eyes to even open that morning. I watched it all over and over again trying to make sense of it. I got up from my desk feeling like quitting my job and just not doing anything. What's the point? What's the point of any of this? We come into this world in a set of circumstances as a certain character and we have no say in any of it. If all goes well, we get about 75, 90 years of this experience and then it's a wrap. A couple generations go by and no one remembers you were here. All your big problems and accomplishments, all the things that were important to you, no one cares. How many times have you thought of the Queen since she passed away? She was the epitome of wealth, adoration, at least by most people, and status. And here you are going about your day without so much as a thought about her. So why then? Why are you and I here in this time, in this body? What is the purpose of life? It's a question that's plagued humanity for eons and led to many theories, philosophies, and ideologies trying to come up with an answer. Have we made any meaningful progress in answering it? Maybe a little bit. Is it worth answering? Is there an answer? I think so. I think this is a question that's asked by self and answered by self. Everyone asks this question at a point in their lives where it becomes important to them. It's not so important when you're still taking care of survival, food, water, and shelter. But after you answer the lower level questions, it eventually becomes the only question that's left. Then the rest of life beyond that point is spent trying to answer it. In my particular set of beliefs, I think that every being of consciousness comes into the world with particular seeds of potential and a role to play. Then life is spent uncovering and bringing that potential to life through action, reflection, and iteration. We all know intuitively when we're on the correct path or not. We made another video on the duality of self which touches on getting in touch with this intuition. But see, there's a reason why there are people obsessed with music theory or the study of fresh water bodies or history or ecological sciences. Other than history, having to put any thought or effort into any of those would make me want to shoot myself. There's things that I'm interested in and commit my time to that you would become nauseated thinking about. I don't think that's arbitrary. I don't think that's nothing. I believe that's how it was made to be by whoever or whatever put us here. You following your own set of obsessions and curiosities and making something of that is one of your purposes in this world as it is mine. The difficult part is in believing that and actually following through on it. Most of us get distracted by what society considers success and puts on a pedestal to determine what we should do in our own lives. We get obsessed with other people's opinions of us and what they would think about what we're doing rather than getting obsessed with that faint voice of our conscience and what it is asking us to do. This is every unfulfilled doctor, lawyer, or engineer that had the seeds of being an artist, a musician, a painter, a storyteller. We put aside the beautiful voice we have and our love for singing for spreadsheets and climbing corporate ladders. We put aside the curiosity of philosophy and go after the clear-cut path of becoming an accountant or a laborer. The more off-path we live, the more we resort to escapism to give us momentary, false joy. We drink, we smoke, we cheat, we chase empty sex. The more we stay off path, the more soulless our eyes become. The less joy we feel and the more numb we become. The more we turn into flesh and blood existing for survival and propagation than human beings striving for contribution or the building of life's work. When I was forcing myself to be a forex trader to make easy money, I knew I was off path. When I was forcing myself in medical school to become a surgeon for the title and the status, I knew I was off path. When I was operating the conveyor belt of modern medicine as a traditional physician, I knew I was off path. But when I write these public journal entries to make sense of my thoughts, I know I am exactly where I belong. Maybe no one will read them. Maybe no one will watch the videos. Maybe they will and they won't like them. Maybe I won't make a penny out of this and everything I spend on it is money burned. But just creating and building these, the process of it, puts my soul in its rightful place of service and purposefulness. I know I'm doing at least part of what I was put here to do. I don't know where it's going to lead, if anywhere. I don't know how long it will last, but right here, right now, today, this is my purpose for this moment. You don't have to have just one purpose. You have seasons of life with different purposes, and they will all culminate into your grand purpose on the stage of your life as a whole. In my thinking, the purpose of life, generally put, is to advance consciousness and carry the whole forward by doing what we're meant to do, by chasing our curiosities and building around them, by reflecting on our pain and passing forward the lesson, by learning from our mistakes and helping others avoid them, by seeing a dream of possibilities and then chasing it to reality. This sounds grand, but the role itself can come in different shapes and sizes. Not everyone will have documentaries made and biographies written about their purpose. Not everyone will build $1 billion business or find the next big scientific discovery. But rest assured, doing your soul's work will be a deposit into the great bank of human consciousness, and in that regard, one is equal to the other. Every famous novel that's written and story that's told advances consciousness by opening the reader or watcher's eyes to a world that didn't even exist before. Think about every business that exists around toys and accessories related to things and worlds that aren't even real. Harry Potter, Game of Thrones. Every song that's written that elicits an emotional response, the way you feel when you're at a concert and that live music. Every new business or technology has the ability to transform how humanity itself functions. Cars, phones, computers, all due to an individual following his or her curiosities and starting the process by laying that first brick. Look at Elon Musk and space and just about everything when it comes to him. Steve Jobs and the iPhone, the Wright brothers and flying. It comes in every painful experience that's reflected upon and forced to be productive. That changes existence and it makes it better for the next batch of consciousness that comes through. Think of all the medical discoveries we have and our ability to treat previously deadly diseases. Somebody had to study those plagues and their remedies, and that was their purposeful contribution. Somebody had to build the sewage systems we have to keep us healthy. Purpose doesn't always have to look pretty or cool. And that process might begin at a small scale for you because this is the real world after all. You have bills to pay, you have people to be responsible for. So you do it in the free minutes of your day, the hours on the weekend, and you keep building and you keep watering those seeds until it becomes what you do with all of your time. The process might even begin as a superficial pursuit for you. You have a chip on your shoulder and you want to be insanely rich to prove people wrong. That's fine, but what you build in pursuit of that will end up helping many people by definition. You might start going to the gym and trying to get jacked out of the anger of a bad breakup. No problem. But what you learn through that process and how you apply it to others will end up being a contribution. You might become a coach for others, or you might apply what you've learned to other areas of life and build that way. You just don't know. But in any case, your role is the same, to answer this question for yourself and to do your part to live in tune with your inner voice, because the result of that is consciousness advancing to its next level. Your existence and you living in pursuit of your purpose, guided by your intuition, makes the world a better place for all of us and the characters of consciousness that are going to follow us. So please, follow your genuine curiosities, solve problems that you are inherently drawn towards solving, reflect on your pains and pass forward the lessons that you've learned, turn up the volume on your inner voice and tune out the voice of society that for the most part is just living to exist from one day to the next. Your purpose and particular set of interests may not sound pretty or be considered cool to everyone else, but they were given to you. for only you to build something out of. So serve the purpose that you were tasked with by uncovering it through your actions and iterating along the way. The progress of consciousness is counting on you. Till next time.